works.
We're live. Look at that.
We're live.
Look at that. What's up, everybody?
How we doing? We're live.
Live in Ames and in person.
Live in
This
Ames.
is, first of its kind.
That's right. A live Litecast from my basement, complete with Guinnesses, as an ode to Chris Williams, the fearless leader of this venture. Well, I mean,
Jake Brand.
Jake Brand, obviously. Yeah. How dare we disrespect Jake Brand? Keeney, it's been a while since we talked. We wanted to make sure we got in here today to cover a little bit on the KU game, preview Houston a little bit, since this kind of throws our cadence off. We usually are Wednesday night podcast, but Monday or Tuesday night podcast, but we've got the post game show on later tonight. So we wanted to come to you and bring you a little preview. Do we want to start with KU first? Do we start with?
We probably close the book on KU.
Probably close the book on Kansas. I think we can do that.
You went to the game, right?
I was at the game. We took all the kids. It was my daughter's birthday.
Is that what she asked for? She said she wanted to go to the
yeah, of course. Yeah, that's exactly what she asked for. Yeah, that was what else would a 4-year-old want? It was incredible. We had a lot of fun. We got a clone cone, so that was great. More than anything, the crowd was nuts, insane, crazy. Which I thought was fantastic. I love Angry Hilton. I love when this arena gets up, which you could say is for every game, but quite frankly, I mean,
let's be honest, it's been a little while since we had one like that.
The best game since what, December 7th? Yeah, probably best game since Iowa at home. Keeney's gonna grab the door here as my kids are probably making noise in the background. Yeah, so the crowd was juiced. It was loud the whole game. A lot of fouls called early, which got everybody into it. But
in the arena, it's what everybody wanted, right? We talked a little bit about how the atmosphere in Hilton had been great all year. And frankly, the home schedule hadn't been great.
Correct.
Until finally we get a big-time game against Kansas team that was red hot. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Darren Peterson in person. How'd you come away with that? Not impressed? Iowa State neutralized him big time.
I know everyone calls him DP.
DNP?
DNP. I think DNP is great. It's a great nickname. Man, silky smooth when he's on the floor. Like when he made a few of those long twos. When he there was a pretty deep three that he made. I was nervous, but in traditional Darren Peterson fashion, he played 15 minutes. Like the other thing I'll say, in the arena, like you don't notice when he's not in the game the way you do when you watch on TV, because they talk about it like ad nauseum. So, and he did check in spurts during the second half.
Yeah.
Originally, Keeney, I thought he didn't play the whole second half. So when I went back and watched the replay after the game, I was like, oh, he actually did check in. He just didn't. They put him in for like 2-minute spurts in this. I have quick sidebar, no idea what's going on there. I feel bad for Bill Self. He either needs, in my opinion, he needs to be all in or all out. Like if he just wants to be the number one pick, just be done. Just say, hey, I'm hurt. I'm not playing the rest of the year.
Let's pause for a second. What did you just say? I feel sorry for
Bill Self. That's true. I said it.
Okay.
He's the best player in the country when he plays, but no one knows when he wants to play. Is it his dad? Is it his dad? Is it his agent? Is he actually hurt?
Sounds like there's maybe some family, some agent stuff in there. I just got to say, because I watched on TV, I was watching really intently to see how long he played in the second half. And the reason I never felt like Iowa State was in danger of like blowing the lead in the second half is because I knew Kansas's best player wasn't going to be out there. Like as soon as the lead got to like 15 points, it's like, okay, he's not coming back in.
No, because that's been the trend. And I don't know. I don't know what to think at this point. I will say that Kansas has shown they're perfectly capable without him.
We also let's compliment the defensive effort too.
Yeah,
Killian Torre had him he was in the torture chamber.
The torture chamber, as we say. That's right. The torture chamber. 2 stars of the game. Honestly, the first is just a thing. It's not a player. Offensive rebounding in the first half is the only reason we were not down 15 at like the under 8. The offense had no wheels early on. We missed. I think I put on Twitter. It felt like we were 1 for 15 at one point. I think it was 1 for 11. Missed 6 threes. I think our first 4 shot attempts were threes. Didn't get the ball in the paint. KU was clearly sagging in, daring everybody except for Mommy to shoot. And Buchanan gets a ton of credit. Actually, Dom Plata does too. He was getting boards, and I thought Momcilovic did a decent job on the glass as well. once really Bateman came in and broke the proverbial seal, then the offense changed, but they would have been stuck without offensive boards early on in that game because that's where our points came from.
Right. I mean, the score was 6-2 for forever. It felt like we were stuck on 2 points for like the first 7 minutes of the game. Best game Blake Buchanan's played in probably since Purdue.
I mean, it's been that long, right? And I do want to get your take on this because I heard Chris and Brent talk about it. Do you think Don Plata's emergence has helped him be more effective?
Absolutely.
You think so?
He doesn't play as much. He doesn't have to be like the number one thing I was worried about with Kansas wasn't Darren Peterson going off. It was Badunga just dominating us inside because he dominated us at Allen Fieldhouse. And I mean, let's be honest, we did a really good job of just not letting that happen. I mean, Don Plata, deep down, I don't really believe this, but I'm like,
right,
man, what if we just started him and said Buchanan, come in your 5-minute spurts?
What we've needed from him is to be stronger with the ball, Keeney. Like when he catches it in the post, and he has been, but he gave really good effort on the boards, which I think is really all you're really looking for. And if he scores, it's a bonus, honestly. But like having two reliable centers, I don't think Plata was that a month ago. I think he is now.
He was. He played by necessity, because Buchanan can play 40 minutes, but like now he is actually being productive when he's on the floor, which is great. You kind of expect that freshman. I know he played internationally a little bit, but like he's finally kind of used to that level of physicality the Big 12 basketball is going to provide. Now tonight's going to be a whole nother challenge,
right? Which
we'll get into, but nah, man, he's been great as that backup big, just kind of everything you want to be, and then. I'm sure you're going to get into it, but Momcilovic, that was just like...
that actually wasn't takeaway number 2. We do need to spend some time talking about the Peter Griffin shot from the corner. Jamarian Bateman, man. Like,
true.
During that game, I was just yelling, Bateman. I love, like the Batman. You wanted Batman, you got Bateman instead. I have the originator also of the Bateman meme, the bat signal on Twitter. That's usually me.
The bait signal?
The bait signal. He comes out of nowhere and just unconsciously starts chucking threes. Like, I love his energy. He's also showed he can get to the rim a little bit, which we need. The three from as deep on the wing as you can attempt one in good conscience. That is like the Jamarian Bateman special. If he's in the game, he's in range. I
get nervous about when he's out there because, like, is he just going to chuck threes? But no, he's taking threes when he should take threes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to see.
No conscience, all confidence. That's a great combination of three-point shooter. Like, and he knows, I'm guessing the staff has to have told him by now, like, hey, you can shoot, get threes up. When you're in there.
The comp that you keep hearing thrown out there now is Curtis Jones.
If guys go under a screen on him, he's going to shoot it, right? Like, I think he even made one like a step back, which we have not really seen him take thus far. It's been more like his feet are set, he's getting the shot off. So, also, that drive he had to the hoop made a tough layup. The more he shoots, people are going to start playing aggressively out on him when he does go to shoot. So eventually, he's going to be an aid to you getting to the basket as well. So those are the two stars I wanted to talk about. And then obviously, like Momcilovic is just incredible. You can maybe hold him down for half, like they kind of did in the first, but he can score in the paint, he can drive to the rim, and he's just unconscious from three. Has been all season. To me, he stood out a lot on defense. They put him in a lot of tough spots, having to guard the ball in the post specifically. And then even on the perimeter at times on Council and on Darren Peterson, he can hold his own. He's not as slow-footed as we thought he was, right? Like he's put on enough size where he can be fairly physical.
Right.
I don't know, the full game I think was on display from him on Saturday. And I think it's not like it was against Baylor at home a few weeks ago where you didn't win that game without him going ham. But that's just like normal Milan is him making an insane three from the corner. And if it was anybody else, we talk about it ad nauseum, but because it's him, it's just like, oh my gosh, he just made another crazy shot.
I was gonna say, I think that 20 minutes from him is what's going to be like on his NBA draft reel.
Just stupid, man.
The shot making, the ability to get his shot up over defenders, and then he held his own defensively. That's the number one thing that you think is going to hold him back at the next level. And playing at Iowa State, I heard Ryan Hammer say that on the Let Him Cook podcast that he really thinks that playing at Iowa State has helped him so much defensively.
I mean, he basically was a pure liability his freshman and sophomore year. I was also watching some highlights today of us playing Houston in the tournament 2 years ago, just because who doesn't love that game? He was skinny and looked a lot less confident, right? Like And there were games over the last few years where he would shoot more, but a lot of times he passed looks. Clearly, TJ has told him, you are going to get 7 threes up a game. Like,
even when he passes up the look, he should. It just leads to him hitting the one in the corner.
He'll get a different
He's going to get the shot up anyway.
That shot from the corner, by the way, was like a fadeaway. It was almost like a runner. Like he was moving at full speed when he shot it over Flory Badunga, who is one of the better defenders in the league and who has a crazy long wingspan. In the arena, I think all I could do was I took my hat off and like threw it up in the air. We were all just laughing. Like we were just perplexed when he made that shot.
That was a crowd pop that you could like sense through the TV.
It was nuts. It was It was nutty in the arena when he made it. I think more than anything, what I really wanted to see was you went through the Baylor game, you went through the TCU game, and we really didn't see shots go in from outside. We are a good 3-point shooting team. I know Momcilovic's average really buffers that.
Right.
But Lipsy can make threes. Jefferson can make threes. Torrey, I know he's putting him in at 33%, but like him making one was huge. Bateman, obviously, we know can shoot. It had been a few games since I think the team had seen threes go through the hoop.
Right.
I think it's crazy important that Lipsy made 2, Heisey made 1, because I want to say he was 0 from 3 against TCU.
Well,
I think for the team's confidence, just shooting wise, you had a really good shooting game against Kansas. Is a very good defensive team. They're top 30 in Ken Palm defense wise, right? I'm hoping that they can harness that and then that carries over because it'd been a while since they'd shot that well.
Well, yeah, especially Taman getting 2 to go in because that was the number one thing that stood out from the TCU game to me is just even when we were open, you couldn't get the jump shots to go down. Taman couldn't hit him. Torrey couldnn't hit him. Heisey went over, which is uncharacteristic for him. So
a lot of those were really good open looks.
Right. Taman getting 2 of them to go down, that just it seems like he just kind of makes them in waves, you know, when he gets one to go in, it's like, all right, well, now I have enough confidence to shoot the next time. And I feel like I'm going to get another one to go in. So great build up to tonight. Should probably talk about.
Let's do it.
We are what?
10 minutes in.
An hour and a half away from tip.
And an hour and a half from tip. That's right.
Live in Ames.
We're live in Ames. We're going to the game. We're sitting together, a little Litecast fellowship here this evening, which will be fun. I think it's the first game we've actually ever gone to together. So,
Matt, this is the first time I have gone to a men's game at Hilton since TJ's been the head coach.
Oh my gosh!
Can you believe that?
Well, welcome. It's an 8 p.m. game, so we had to get a sitter for my kids. I'm glad I asked you to use a ticket with me.
Right.
My dad's joining me. It'll be really fun. He's a YouTube head too. So, you mentioned the 3-point shooting. I will be very curious to see what Houston does differently compared to Kansas. So Kansas, especially early on in the game, was very intent. To me, it looked like they were playing an old 2-3 zone from high school where nobody is standing outside the paint. That is how condensed they played. When Momcilovic caught it, they extended wherever he was on the floor. It was almost like a box and one, but we're going to stay in the paint. Houston's defense, they're physical enough and athletic enough. 1, I don't think they're going to condense the paint like that. Keeney. 2, they're so physical that their defense is more when you drive, they're going to try to just take the ball away. They're not going to swarm you and triple team you, but they're going to have active hands trying to wrench the ball out, trying to get steals and poke it away. So I'm curious to see how Houston plays us because if you go back, I just watched that game from 2 years ago, and their style is pretty consistent. Iowa State was able to run up that 29-point win because we could move the ball. They had a lot of really good passes to Hassan Ward for dunks when they drove baseline. A lot of big-to-big passing. It was Trey King to Ward primarily in that game. You also had Lipsy hitting step backs and Momcilovic hitting step backs, right? There was kind of some insane stuff that happened. A lot of the offense in that game actually came from turnovers, which is very typical for an ISU team. But I don't think Houston, I could be wrong, I don't think they're going to condense it the way that Kansas does. I think they're going to just play straight up and trust their athletic ability in their hands on defense when we drive to kind of attack it. So that gets me to, what do you think are some keys to the game tonight? Because I think it will be, can Joshua Jefferson be strong with the ball when he goes to the rim? Can somebody else attack the paint? We've seen Torrey do it a little bit at times. We've seen Lipsy do it, but I think he's a lot of times looked to pass when he gets into the lane. That's what I'm curious to see is, can we create enough off the dribble against their defense, which is insane. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction here.
Oh, I love it. Let's do it.
I don't think we're gonna win this game by 30 points.
I don't know if we're gonna win this game at all, Keeney. Like Houston is really good.
Look, I've been watching Houston do this for years, and this is the first time I've seen Kelvin Sampson's Houston in person. So this would be a really interesting test. I mean, look, the number one thing when you play them is can you keep them off the offensive boards? Tugler, Sanak, those guys are nasty.
Very physical.
This is going to be a huge test for, we talked about Don Plata, being physically stronger. I mean, this is going to be the best test that he could possibly face. Jefferson's going to have to rebound. Momcilovic is going to have to rebound. Blake Buchanan's not going to have to get, pushed around under the hoop because they're going to push. They're going to throw shots up at the rim just for the purpose of trying to offensive rebound. Buchanan's got to hold his own down there. It's going to be a real test. And look, man, the thing with Houston that's different from last year to this year is Houston's got more offense. They've got more shot creators.
And I didn't know that they would going into the season. I thought that's where they would continue to struggle.
Flemings is way better. Well, everybody said he was good and he was like a top 10 recruit, but Flemings has been fantastic. Correct.
Yep. And Milos Uzan, he's been around a while. We know what his game looks like. I think it's interesting. So that their scoring is not, they're not scoring 80, 90 points a game, but their scoring is very balanced. When you look at their box scores, you'll see 3 or 4 guys on the bench each chip in 5 points. They do everything really, really well. I would say they're not necessarily like crazy explosive on offense. You want some unsolicited betting advice, Keeney. This is a bet the under game. I don't think it matters what the under is.
Look at that. When we do this live, we got to put comments on the screen.
I love that.
Whose freshman handled the pressure better?
Yeah. So this was actually going to be my number one factor I wanted to talk about. Who's freshman? I know Flemings has been incredible. He has been. Being a freshman on the road in an environment like this against our ball pressure, which he has not faced, is going to be tough. It would be tough on a neutral as well. It'd be tough if we were playing in Houston. The fact that it is here, right, you cannot disregard that fact. And I'm not saying their ball pressure won't get to Taman at all, because it might, or whoever's handling it if he's out. And a lot of times it's Torrey, sometimes it's Josh. But that's going to be a huge task for him because he's played in some tough environments, but not quite like this and not quite against ball pressure like we have.
I would say they played it. Their toughest road test was at BYU, that they won. Yep. They played at Texas Tech and lost.
Yep, correct.
To get to their defense a little bit on the road, I mean, this is going to have to be a Hilton Coliseum is worth 8 to 10 points kind of night.
And I think we can do it. This place is amped up. There were lines of students out front. There was a ton of tents. I was out there pretty early this morning driving to daycare or to school, and I saw that crowd. It's been nuts here all day. It was like 70 degrees today. Everyone is out and about.
Vibes are high.
The vibes are very high, names, I would say. And I think, I don't know, for the team, Keeney, I do want to talk about this too. Just the positives that we saw happen on Saturday. Take like how does he made a 3? Lipsy made a 3 out of it. I was more nervous about that game than this one from a pressure perspective, right? You're admittedly not playing well. You had a break. You beat Baylor, but you let him back in. You lost to TCU, who you probably didn't have any business losing to. I do think TCU's actually acquitted themselves pretty well. They run on the road at Oklahoma State. They're a
tournament team.
They
should be. Yeah, if they're not, they should be.
Last bracketology I saw, they actually were projected in the field. But
this will be something that I'm going to.
But say you drop that game on Saturday. Now you've lost 2 straight, haven't looked great, 3 straight games, and you get to play Houston at home. That's a horrible spot to be in from a pressure perspective. I actually thought the pressure would be on us squarely on Saturday, and I give credit to TJ. That team did not look tight. They did not look nervous. The energy was high the whole game. They didn't shoot well to start. They were open looks. They just missed them, but they stuck with it. I was really nervous at the half that TJ was going to tell him to take the air out of the ball a little bit, wait for better shots. And instead, what did we do? Like there was that one sequence where we made 4 straight threes, where they were TJ clearly said, hey, keep shooting. You're a good team. We will make these shots. So I like how this sets up for us a lot. Boy, had their outcome been different on Saturday, I'd be terrified of this game. You do not want to have that much pressure on your back playing this Houston team.
Thing is, there might not be as much pressure on Iowa State tonight because they got the Kansas game, but I still feel like you can't drop home games. Like, I guess this really gets into what is your objective between now and Selection Sunday. Like, what do you want this Iowa State season to look like? Because tonight is a night where you're going to kind of prove how high your ceiling can be. If you win tonight, all of a sudden you have the head-to-head against Houston and you're 1 game back in the regular season standings.
Right.
Like, if you lose, you're 3 games behind Houston. You lost the head-to-head, and you don't really have a path there. You probably don't have a path to a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament either. So this is again, you got that big win on Saturday. Maybe the pressure is not as high on Iowa State, but this is still an extremely pressure-packed game because if you're going to prove that you're capable of taking that next step and not be a second weekend team, but be a Final Four national championship caliber team, you got to win this game at home.
I agree. going into this, right? We'd always, Keeney, on this show, we'd always talked about this crucial stretch of games with TCU being lumped in with the rest of these, right? Like they're a pretty good team. It's on the road. We figured that would be tough, and it was, right?
But you used your mulligan. I think
you did.
You had a mulligan, and you used it up right away.
But winning today, I think, buys you another mulligan. If you drop, I think the BYU game is now a heck of a lot more winnable than it looked a week ago. Poor Richie Saunders, which, by the way, like one of the all-time villains for me. I do not like playing that guy. So I'm not happy that he's hurt, but I'm happy that he won't be on the team when we play them. Is that fair? I'm not rooting for injuries here.
As an Iowa State fan, respect to Richie Saunders.
Richie, and I got hurt. Sorry, crumble cookie guy, whoever you are. But no, I agree. Like I think there's, because of how the league has shifted around, right? With Tech winning, with Arizona dropping a few, it's opened the window for really, from this game, you go one of two directions. Mm-hmm. It's you win tonight, and all of a sudden you are now not in the driver's seat, but you have a great shot to win this league outright if you play well down the stretch. So that's a door that seemed closed 2 weeks ago.
By the way, I want you to, but Houston's next 3 games. So they
pretty brutal.
Tonight, and then they play Arizona at home on Saturday. Then they go to Allen Fieldhouse next Monday.
It's a pretty tough stretch. Correct. Yep. So, and then your competition, right? Tech and Arizona, you've got games with here in the next 2.5 weeks.
Tech comes here.
Tech comes here, right? So they're in a good spot. But either way, right? Win or lose, I think your goal at this point of the season, if you can't win tonight, is can we do enough to stay on the 2 line the rest of the way out? That probably looks like beating Utah, beating Arizona State, beating Tech at home. That is probably enough with their non-conference. The St. John's win continues to look better.
Right.
If Purdue keeps winning and climbing back in, that will continue to look better. I think at the end, where I'm at, Keeney, right now, that is the ultimate goal, is to stay on the 2 line. A 3 seed's fine. The math is so much friendlier for 2 seeds. It probably means you're in Midwest playing in St. Louis, right?
I'm getting
but regardless, I thought this conversation about could they get back in to win the league was done after the Cincinnati game. Mm-hmm. And because of things shuffling around, I mean, you hate to say peak too early. Maybe Arizona did peak a little bit too early, right? Like,
we'll see.
I don't think so. I think they're incredible. I think they were bound to lose a couple games. A lot of times when you hit one loss, you hit another one. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. So I don't think my opinion on them has not changed really at all. I think if Court Pete is out a while, that stinks. And that maybe does change if he's going to miss a couple weeks. I don't think that's the case.
They've got a lot of dudes.
They're so physical. Like I think 3-point shooting is their weakness, but they're so good at everything else that most games they can overcome that. And Tech, yeah, they look great. Tech is also wildly. They have 6 losses for a reason, right? There are some inconsistencies with their game. While JT Toppin is incredible, I love his little left-handed hook shot. But no, Iowa State is in a great spot. Really, Keeney, I think coming out of this game either way. But you're right. If they win, they really do have a shot to do something we haven't done in 25 years, which is possibly win this league outright.
So I'm getting selfish. I'm like, I see a win tonight as a gateway to 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. It's back on the table if you win this game.
I think it is, absolutely. Because you start looking at wins compared to, your best wins compared to a lot of other teams. So we create a pretty compelling list of St. John's on a neutral, who's now top 15, Purdue on the road, Kansas at home.
Beating Purdue's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. It's certainly not.
Not in this state. It's not.
No, not in Iowa. No, that's definitely the case. No, it's not for everybody. Having a coach on February 16th. You know what it's specifically not for? It's not for Kansas State.
Are we getting into
that? You wondered
now?
Where I was segueing into that? Can we cheers to that for a second, by the way, which maybe we should pour one out.
Remember a couple weeks ago we talked about like what was your favorite Jerome Tang memory, and then the conversation for them was like the buyout's too high, they can't do it.
So we all thought it.
Let me just say, Kansas State did the impossible. They made Jerome Tang look like a sympathetic figure getting fired.
They really did, honestly. I can't believe that they're gonna try to pursue cause. I don't know if you saw. I didn't see it, but my wife said Jerome's lawyers put out a statement, and they basically said we fully intend to make it ugly, and insinuated that there's some behind the scenes stuff that K-State's not going to want out.
Right.
This is all a total pissing match, right? Because K-State's saying we have cause to try to get him to settle.
And if you're on the internet, you know what that cause is. It's the Michael Scott. It's because I hate him.
It is because I hate him. That's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but like being horrible is not probably cause. Now, Levi did point out a good comment between the NIL stuff, and you could make the argument that he's maybe hurt their case for NIL and future teams because of what he's done to these players. I mean, it's kind of what happened to Mike Gundy, I guess. That was Levi's point. I don't disagree. I just don't.
It's such a slippery slope. If you're like, all right, disparaging your players is now cause for termination, and
I
you don't
know
get your
about
money.
that, right?
There's no way a judge is going to be able to
No,
rule on their side.
I just don't know that there's going to be great precedent for that, right? So my guess, I saw a good tweet. It was from Jerome Tang's position is $19 million. K-State's is $0. They will land somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I promise we do this game Jeopardy style, closest to being right without going over.
Well, so Price is Right.
Price is Right. Yeah, sorry, not Jeopardy. Price is Right. I said 11 million. Just over. 10 million is very likely. I'm going to say 11 million because I think it'll be actually closer to like 12. What are your thoughts?
There's no way the number's ever going to be public, but I have to imagine that Jerome Tang is probably willing to fight this to get his full 19.
I'm guessing he's going to be. I don't know that they have costs. So someone should take 19. We gotta share.
That's a good one.
We gotta share this comment. Yeah, Dan Hurley and Doug Gottlieb would be in big trouble if they couldn't disparage players because that's basically all that those two buffoons do.
So I think the number is going to be between 15 and 19. It's just no way that's ever going to go public.
I'm going to revise mine down to 9, not 11. I think it's going to be 10. I think they're going to split the difference right in the middle and let him walk. But props to them for, this is what they should have done. I specifically thought that they would try to keep him around basically just to lower the buyout. Clearly, they decided they couldn't do that. But where do they go? Do they have a bag to drop off for Brad Underwood after all these shenanigans, especially if they got to pay him $19 million? I can't imagine that they do. This is where, if you haven't made the Brian Ferentz edit meme, you need to. I've seen one for Steve Prohm wearing a purple blazer with a K-State logo on. I love that.
I think I'm retired from that game. I don't know.
You're retired.
Well,
Ben Jacobson.
I'm hearing Ben McCollum.
Ben Jacobson. Ben McCollum. Yeah, that's it's his dream job. He's always wanted that job.
You need NIL, and Kansas State has NIL money. They've proven that they'll spend it. So
Northwest Missouri State guy, geographic ties.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
The people are asking. Man, this is a pretty good show. Keeney, just want to credit ourselves. We've been on Cancun watch for a long time. I think it's now time to maybe shift our target Cancun wise to Wes Miller. I think Wes is on a collision course with Cancun. Mm-hmm. Jerome won't be there. Jerome will be traveling the world using his buyout money to build orphanages or do something like that, which I credit to him. He's a very spiritual person. I think he's got big plans for himself and what he's going to do with all this money. But I think if I was Wes Miller, I'd maybe be getting a travel agent lined up because I think he's probably headed to Cancun.
By building orphanages, do you mean slinking back down to Waco to be an assistant for Scott Drew again?
Could be. Man, was McCaslin the one that really made that ship go at Baylor? Like, this is just a weird place to be with.
People are saying.
Scott, broader conversation, but Scott Drew, my opinion, is going to go the way of Tony Bennett and all these older coaches. Think about how much senior talent Drew was able to keep players that he could hold over for years. And look what's happened to his rosters each of the last several years. Right. I think this year was a total 100% turnover. That's not sustainable. And I don't think, does Scott Drew want to keep coaching into that? I have a hard time believing that he does. You think Bill Self's enjoying what's going on with Darren Peterson right now? I'm sure he's not. So I don't know.
Scott Drew can rate the NBA draft, though. Don't forget about that.
That's right. Yeah. Your eligibility is not done in college basketball until Nate Oates and Scott Drew say it is. Right. That's right. Okay. Anything else we should hit on? Try to see if we've got any good comments here.
I just want to bask in the atmosphere tonight because,
it's going to be great.
The thing about being up here in Ames, it's been so long for me to be at a game, and you can give me the idea of what to expect walking in. How has Hilton changed from what I was used to in the Fred era, 2015, 2016 versus now? I think a lot of people are quick to blame whether it's the lighting or the student section but the student section has barely been moved back. It's been moved back, but 5 feet. I don't think it's egregious. I think one of the biggest changes, honestly, is expectations. I'm not going to say entitlement. I don't think Iowa State fans are entitled. But Keeney, when I was a freshman, right, was Royce White's first year, we were freaking desperate for something good to happen, right? Mm-hmm. We had just gone through Wayne Morgan and Greg McDermott. That crowd was nuts for random games on a Tuesday night against a bad Oklahoma State team because we were just thrilled to have good basketball after damn near a decade. And I don't want to make it sound like everyone's complacent with it, but do you need a 15,000 packed to the gills nuts crowd to beat Arizona State when they come to town in late March?
or early March. Honestly, you shouldn't, right? This team and this program has elevated so much. Do you want everyone there in those seats full? No doubt, no question, absolutely. But if you look at the Athletics, all these games have been sold out.
Right.
They're all sold out. So like the tickets are sold, and I think you've got to just remember where we came from. Back then, we felt like if every fan didn't drive 3 hours to go to that game, we were going to lose because we weren't that good of a team, right? So I think things have changed a little bit. However, the atmosphere, Keeney, for these big games, if it's anything like it was for Kansas, that crowd was loud, angry. They cheered the whole time. I'm sure it came through well on TV. They've also made a lot of enhancements in game. If you have not been to a game recently, the new scoreboard, the ribbon boards for stats, the music, the games and things they do, some of it's the same as it was 10 years ago, Keeney, but a lot of it has been upgraded, I think, enhanced. They've done a nice job of bringing some new in, as well as honoring some of the old things. The flag guy still runs around the concourse. They still do the 5 to 35, which shouts to Ryan Hammer for winning that lawnmower. Ryan, if you can't haul it back to New Jersey, I will take it. I have a lawn. I live right here. We can just drive it over from Hilton to here.
I was going to say there's going to be a line of people.
Do you think they just store those mowers in the Hilton basement? Just in the concourse, they've just got 3 or 4 mowers in case somebody wins one?
That's a good question.
Let them drive it out of there? No. You'll love it. It'll be a really good crowd.
Some are saying this is the biggest game at Hilton. I mean, it's easily in the last 20 years.
I think
when you look at the
yes.
AP poll,
right,
this is maybe the best matchup in Hilton Coliseum history.
You know,
this
with
is
Fred,
number 2. We're ranked number 6.
With Fred, we had a lot of good teams, but they would lose every road game,
mm-hmm.
and rarely were in the top 25. If they were,
well, we were in the top 25, but we were ranked like 15th to 18th
correct.
Because we'd go 1-1 every week. We'd win our home game and lose our road game.
Correct. This is kind of unprecedented to be not just in the AP poll for this long, but to be inside the top 10 for the amount of time that we have. And some of it is the opponent too. Like Houston's incredible; they have been forever. They're going to win a national title with Kelvin one of these years, right? He's just that good of a coach. They're that good of a program. You know what I like about this game too, Keeney? A lot of respect. You're not going to hear an F Houston chant tonight like you heard against Kansas. Well, I mean, maybe you will, but I think there's
a challenge to the
could be a challenge to the students if you're listening. I think there's just a lot of admiration between programs. That's what I'm excited for. I think it'll be an incredible game. It'll be a rock fight. We all know it will be. But we're excited for it. I love Tom's tweet, which did go kind of viral on Twitter about it was showing what people are thinking to get tonight versus what they'll actually get, and it was like wrestlers playing basketball,
right?
Just fighting each other. That was very accurate for what we're probably going to see tonight.
We've all done it at least once. At lead,
that's right.
You accidentally get matched up with a wrestler who doesn't know what he's doing and
barely knows how to shoot. I do think key to the game for me. I see someone in the comments. It's going to be Josh Jefferson. He did not play well in the first half against Kansas. The way that they pressure, here's my indicator. If he has 5 turnovers, we lose this game.
Okay.
Yep,
that's probably fair.
If he has 3 or less, right? Because we need him making plays with the dribble. We need him to distribute in the paint. We've had really good high-low between Buchanan and Jeff at times this year. I think with how physical they are, if he can match it and be smart with the ball, we're going to be in great shape. Because we've been averaging about 10 turnovers a game, but quite frankly, a lot of those come back to Josh. And some of it is Torrey with ball pressure, but I think it's really going to be more about Jefferson for the Cyclones tonight than anybody else. And we need a big game from him. It's been a few minutes. It's been a few games since we've seen that. So, Kenny, we don't have to do predictions. I quite frankly, I think the Vegas line is perfect. This game feels like a coin flip. You're the home team. You feel like we have the advantage. But it's Houston, man. They're crazy physical. They're really good. It's going to be an awesome game.
Yeah. Got an hour. Let's go have a burger.
Let's end that. Let's go get a burger. Cheers.
All right.
Thanks, everyone. End stream.